Didn't just top my local, but got first place with Maliss.
First ball.
Cut destruction.
Let's cook Jared. Alright guys, so in today's video we're going to be going over my deck profile, but right before we get into that, just announcing our giveaway for this video. As always, you will be getting a Maliss Queen of Hearts and the drawing that we do for every video. All you have to do is, as you know, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. I, myself and Jared, as you saw last week in the hero profile when he topped, we started to play a little bit more competitive. And we've been going for several weeks now to a series of events, and I won one of those. I went, I believe it was 401. So I didn't drop any games, drew one just on time. It was a funny interaction on the grind game because we both like affected each other with all our effects, and we didn't have much to do. We would always change the position of our monsters and whatnot, so we just tied on that game. But yeah, it's been pretty fun, and a lot of my reasonings, I'll explain them a little bit in this video as well, but a bit unconventional from the normal deck profiles that you're seeing, like different big events for sure and all over YouTube. But starting your normal Maliss core. So we're gonna go first with the 3 Dormouse, your full combo card, 3 of all the time. Draw this, you can get to the best board possible for sure. Pretty self-explanatory for sure. I mean, that's what everyone's trying to negate all the time. And I had a couple funny interactions where some of my opponents, when it was, I think, turn 3, 2 of them asked me if they would survive that turn, and I just showed them Dormouse, and I was like, no, got full combo. So if they don't have any interruptions, that's your best bet for sure. And usually, of course, as part of the normal package, this is what you usually banish first. Alpha of Dormouse, the White Rabbit. It just lets you set into extensions and other interactions with your traps. It helps you play around Nib really well. It helps you just have a little bit more options depending on what your opponent decides to interrupt into. And yeah, I just find myself being saved a lot by the trap card, and not just in my turn from banishing a monster, but rather also in my opponent's turn. So they're pretty good. And this one, as I said, it all depends on the game state for sure. But this one, if I start with like a underground on hand, and I have any other Maliss card in my hand, I try to banish this off of an underground first, so I can have the drawing power as well and just continue on the extensions. But that's basically the most usage that I have in this one. Of course, this is the highest beat stick that we get off of Dormouse's boost on 600. If it comes down to the grind game, like I said, if you get Lancet, for example, and they just stop you on the banishes, if you have this in field on that boost, just as regular monsters, this is going to go up to 2100 attack, so just for a level 3, pretty good. And as you saw, that's the core on the monsters. You're okay to play Cat at 2. And sorry if I didn't mention, maybe that was the name, I forgot to mention the name, but I mean, it's part of the core. And you guys, if you're watching this video, it's because you want to see Maliss and you want to see how to be a bit more successful maybe, and this is really what worked out for me, right? It can be different for your locals. Maybe you have a bunch of people playing Runic for some reason and you just want to get around that. So yeah, it just dependable on versatility and how you have to play your matchups, because it's very dependent on that. I am still running, contrary to a lot of popular belief, the Meow Mine. So this one is really strong for me because it lets me at any point to special summon it if I have it in my hand. If I lost some of my interactions, if my opponent maybe has an IP on their field, or if my link decoder got interrupted and is down, like, it doesn't matter if they're in the field or in the grave. As long as you have a link monster in the grave or in the field, you can special summon this for free. Without using your normal summon, of course. Also, with this, if it's in the grave and someone interacts with any of your link 2s, maybe with your Splash Mage or something, you can use this as an interruption as well. You can banish it and affect one of your opponent's monsters on their field. So this is pretty good. I'm still holding strong onto that one. And then And this one, I feel like it could probably fit another bestial, but this is my bestial package. But it's just because this is all I have for now. So I'm still gonna get one more of these, but let's just go into them real quick. We have mag for the search at the end face, and also for more banishing power. We got 3 Baldric. This has a pretty nice effect because it lets you get rid of one of your opponent's monsters of the special summon by tributing another light or dark monster in the field. So that's pretty good. I'm currently running 2 Druises, and that is only because I need one more. I think I have one more somewhere. It might be in my Dark Magician deck. I just haven't looked through it lately. I got one recently. But the powerful thing about using different types of bestials, I don't know, I was probably even thinking of adding one more Druid and maybe one Sar, because it's just the different names let you activate those effects. And like, if, as you already know, if your opponent controls a monster, you can use it as a hand trap, a quick effect. And I mean, banishing 1, 2, 3, and maybe if you have a Sar 4, a lot of very high percentages to start with one of these, and just to continue to extend. If you draw a couple and they're different names, different banishes, you know, that really hurts opponents. It's not super good maybe in the mirror match, just depending on the situation for sure, like timing and being able to keep control of the game and know what effects have gone off already. That's what keeps it very important. And I mean, a lot of decks are playing with this very strong against Fiendsmith, and a lot of the current guys, like with Yugioh, their boss monsters are banishable under the bestials, so that's pretty good. And on top of that, you can get rid of their Fiendsmith, because that's the strongest package that they're running currently, the most dominant one. And I have a couple of players that I think it's only one that I know of at the moment that plays Yugioh Mitsurugi, and it can seem kind of tough on the grand game a little bit, but the boss monsters, I forget their names, but the ritual monsters, I think they're both dark as well. I mean, you can use them, the bestials also, to banish those. And this card also cuttable, and like in a lot of lists, you've been seeing that a lot of people get rid of it. I still have faith in Dustscaper. I mean, just on the line, if I do decide to still go first through Red Ransom instead of White Binder, Scaper is always a plus, right? Like, I mean, of course, you hate to draw it, but just depending, like I said, how you use it, it can still come back, because it gets special summon if it gets sent either to banishment or to the grave. Maybe that's an easy Lingreable, an easy link decoder, right? For a link 1, still Hypers, and it comes back. You can still use a special summon. So another body on the field, and just depending on what lines you pick to use, you can play around Nib with your traps if you're already at that point. Non-engine, we have classics, still running 3 Ash, because they're still remain very powerful and consistent. And this, what do you call it? In this format, special summoning, not saying that it hasn't been super strong in the past, but I mean, there is less way to interrupt Nib and to bring stuff back. So Nib is pretty powerful in this format currently. So I run 2, I mean, more for like my lines and everything on the cross out, because if someone beforehand that hasn't side decked, like on game 1, already knows that they're playing Maliss, like, I mean, they're probably mostly gonna cash more off of Nib than anything else. In game 2, they like side deck all their anti-banish stuff, you know. But on the first one, and just to have them as an extra resource, Nib is great still. I am currently running 2 Fuwalos, but I have seen that most of the times I'm not needing it too much, so it's pretty cuttable for sure. Like, I mean, usually when I side deck, what I take out is one or both of them, just to put in like my counter spells and my protection against like all the banishment cards that people have in their side deck currently, just because Maliss is played at a very high percentage, and it's based off of just banishing. Of course, you know that already because you're here. Let's see. In this one, a lot of Maliss players are playing on the side, which is great because, I mean, there's still a lot of variants. I've seen Sky Striker lists. I've seen Fiendsmith lists. I used to play Maliss Fiendsmith before. Just depending on what you are playing, like I said multiple times already, is what will make you feel more comfortable, like on the type of approach that you want to take on the deck. So I'm still doing 3 shifter, and that is because that still hurts most of the decks currently. Like, I mean, Mitsurugi relies on the grave, Ryzio relies on recycling their monsters to an extent for sure, because they spam the board. But I mean, you see them coming and going, and they can get to more than a few extensions and just getting to like a pretty regular for them board on their sides if they're under shifter. And I mean, it for sure hurts Maliss decks that run different engines. But I mean, if you're playing it as pure as possible, I mean, Dimensional Shifter is still amazing because, like I said, it hurts most of the powerful decks currently. Still. On this one, I typically do 2 or 3, but for this deck profile in this tournament that I won, I was running 2 Allure of Darkness. Most of your monsters are dark. There is one duel, I think the one that I drew, and yeah, it was my draw. This guy had a random card that just negated all dark monsters, and it was a continuous spell. I can't remember the name, but it was just a very funny interaction because he had nothing but that. So I was like pretty much turned off the deck, because I think the only other attribute that I have is maybe Fawallows and the Dotscaper. But yeah, pretty strong on draw power on this one, and you never find yourself in the situation where you banish your whole hand, because like I said, most of your monsters are dark. I have opted to play 2 of the field spells underground, because I am playing it together with terraforming still. Like, I mean, there's 3 copies already. You have this, you already have one of these. If you hard draw one of these, is great. Ransom searches you one of these, so that's great as well. And opening one of these is pretty good also, because like I said, my favorite thing to do before burning my normal summon, if I hard draw a Dormouse, is banishing and bringing back a cat, because that will allow me to draw 2 and have a better hand for sure. Maybe fix it or just go plus on that turn. So that's my reasoning on that one. Keeping it as thin as possible for sure, and still having access to it in different ways. I still run 2 books, and the reason for that is just because there's a lot of Ryzio. I mean, Jared is he plays Ryzio for sure also, and he's the person that I play test the most with, and we have one video currently that's up, that is Ryzio versus Maliss, which was when it first came out, and you saw these in that one as well. There was like some funny interactions where like he had so many negates and like pops and everything off of Detonator and Cross, but he couldn't do anything because his monsters were face down. And usually we do have ways to get around the face downs and avoid the draws at the end of the turn, because this allows your opponent to draw monsters up to the number of face down monsters that were flip face up on the end face. But I mean, if you're able to pop those or just like bounce them back or just get rid of them somehow, that avoids that extra draw in your opponent's turn, or on the end face rather. Still sticking to the 1 Sark. I mean, it is that 1 still, but I mean, I like it very much because it just keeps giving me extension, and it's an easy spell to trap. And like I said, in this format, focusing a lot on monster effects is the most interruptions that you're going to see. So like if you open up with this, it's pretty good. And one of each of the traps, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you can set them with White Rabbit, you can set them off of the effect with Bite Binder, and just depending on the gain state, like always, and like what's going on during your duel, and just the lines that your opponent has done versus what you're picking, you can either like already be controlling the Lunk monster for a banish, gives you that protection. This is a special summon, more protection, and it helps you like play a little bit around Nib. This one as well, because like let's say you get all tributed, you have this face down and activate it. If you don't chain it, you can bring another monster and continue. And I mean, you're also going to have that one token. And I'll talk about the token in a little bit, because I mean, we did pick a link monster to extend off of being nibbed afterwards. Let's see. Got 3 Imperm. The worst situation that I found myself in with this was a mirror match. And this was a different tournament. I think I got like 2nd or 3rd on that one. And this is terrible in the mirror. Just, of course, at the end of the day, it always goes down. It comes down to, at the end of the day, it comes down to what is going on in the game, of course. But I would say that Imperm is still really good. Just maybe not in the mirror match. And finally, on the main deck, 2 Impulse. Why not 3? Because I'm broke. But these are super good because it of course lets you play around Nib. It lets you have a couple of like Caesar effects for free without having to summon too much. Like, I mean, opening with this is very strong, and that's why it's such an expensive card, because it's broken. Now onto the extra deck. We're running 3 of the Maliss links. So we got White Binder, Red Ransom, and Queen. Beautiful Queen. And then we have Lizardos and this extra deck. I would say it's pretty standard for sure. You'll see very similar monsters to what a lot of people are playing. And this is when it comes down to understanding the game state and your opponent and their monsters and their effects and their decks. Like, I mean, never be afraid to ask what's going on also if you don't understand some things. Like, I mean, if you play more Master Duel, where you can click on the cards and read them, you can just take it the same way. Like, I mean, we don't have a time limit other than the 45 minutes for the for the match. But I mean, feel free to ask your opponent if you can read his cards or see what interruption they're on, what phase they are on, and don't be afraid to ask if you think something can happen or if something can be linked or interacted with. And I mean, I haven't seen a lot of toxic people in our locals, at least, but if it comes down to it, ask a judge. They're there for you. But yeah, just going back to this, just the Lizardos, which is an easy link to that lets you banish a face-up monster to get more extensions and more play on that. The IP, I find myself a lot setting myself to special summon Queen off of IP on my opponent's turn, so I can have the banish that they might not be expecting and already have a face down as usually TB11 that lets me, after I special summon this off of IP, to banish someone because I'm controlling this, and then use this banish effect if I need to for removal. We got a Nightmare Phoenix. It's a fiend. It's great just for the other monsters that we have here. Another easy link too, and it has the co-linking effect to draw 1 and to destroy one of the cards as well. So it's always great. Spider, I opted for it. Not just because it's a QCR, but because it lets us extend off of the nib token. Say we got nibbed, it's a spider for free. And then one of the other classic lanes that I really like is IP and 2SP for a banish as well. Like, I mean, very versatile, of course. And if you want to play a little bit off of that combo on your opponent's turn, by using a link monster on the special summoning, is gonna give you a chance maybe to banish, I don't know, White Binder, and then banish another 3, target another 3 to banish, and just continue extension during your opponent's turn. So yeah, just like I said, depending on how you want to run that lane. Firewall Dragon, still pretty powerful. It gives you removal off of the co-linking, and if you get to co-link it to other cards off of the middle, like you can set 2 on its sides. Can you see that? And bounce 2 cards that your opponent may be controlling. So pretty powerful. Splash Mage, I don't like, even though my deck is mostly Cyberse, locking myself into Cyberse monsters, but this is really good when a lot of your bodies get get negated or removed, because you only need 2 Cyberus monsters on this one, and this one lets you special summon from your grave another Cyberus monster, even though it's negated. I mean, more bodies, and it gives you access to Link 3 for free. Let's see. Then we have the Griffin and the Abao. Pretty great combo. A little floodgate on this one, and I really like how Abao lets you fix your hand on your standby phase. And I mean, I did have a couple of games where for some reason my opponent wasn't super aware of Griffin, and then they were not able to activate their effects. And just on the following, on the clapback, you have the pop, or you have the special summon for something else on a light monster. That is if you have a light monster in your grave, right? But yeah, these ones are pretty good. Like, I mean, when we get the rest of the support that's coming out, that Cyberus probably is going to be cuttable for sure, like the Fiend monsters that I have, just for the other stuff, because it's going to lock you into Cyberus. But yeah, we'll see how that plays at that time. Access code, another Cyberus, pretty strong removal. Combined with one of your Maliss monsters, if you want to OTK, that's pretty powerful, because I mean, let's say of a queen, you multiply by 3 on 1,000, and it's a chunky 53, and then you pop something by banishing queen, and that's gonna make queen be special summoned if you pay 9,900. That would be crazy. That's game. And it's gonna come back at 5,000 when it's banished in effect too. And if you have other type of links, you can continue to pop. So that's pretty great. And then our link decoder, pretty good to have more bodies in the field. An easy link 1 that can be made with any level 4 or lower Cyberus monster. And just on the grind game, there was one of the games in my first set that went kind of crazy, but Typhon was great because removal, and it's pretty chunky. You get 2,900 beat stick, and just when it came down to it, it was like a back and forth attack, destroy, attack, destroy. And then just real quick on the side deck, I mean, I have a lot of stuff that people are using already just on that. Encore is pretty good against yugioh. Have our removals, and then this is a magical special anime tech that I'm playing. I have a couple of Lullaby of Obedience. I had 3. I think 2 is great. On this one, your opponent is not going to be expecting it at all. And as a side deck on game 2, you already know what they're playing, and you can get rid of their starters. Like on the mirror, for example, I activated one of these and resolved them. It called Dormouse, and like, I mean, I was able to just use all my effects with his own Dormouse and just went full combo. It was pretty good. One time when I was playing against Jared, I called X, and I mean, that's pretty crucial because X is a very powerful monster in yugioh. So this is great. Like, it lets you call a monster, and either your opponent has they have the choice to pick between either adding it to your hand or special summoning it to your side. One of them that was crucial in one of my wins was game 3. I know that the guy had a Chaos Hunter, because I mean, I just scooped immediately on that because I didn't have anything. I had like 2 shifters and something else that banished, and then I opened with this, and I activated one and called Chaos Hunter, and I had another body because he special summoned it for some reason to my side. I don't know why, but I mean, got rid of that. And the last 2, Samuel Archind. I mean, this is really good in the mirror as well, because if they go into link decoder, which is usually your first line, you activate this, and if it resolves, they can't special summon anything else that is the same than that one. So links in that case, so you just stop them right at link decoder. So yep, that is mostly what I do in my strategies. And I think the biggest thing in comparison to other decks is my side decks, well, those 2. But really, like I said at the beginning of the video, just keep practicing, keep trying your lines. Don't be afraid to use things that you may think of that are pretty good, because if it feels good, most of the time is good. I mean, and there's always ways to play test and just extend on your own. But really, that's what separates you from everyone else. Just the way that you think, and the dependability from your strategies based on the people in your locals. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one.